To know one way to determine the characteristics of a function using the graph is very important for mathematicians. And it's very useful because sometimes you have the graph, but you don't have the equation. Today, I'm going to show you how to explore the sine and cosine functions using the graph and using the periodic functions. So first, let me tell you what is a periodic function, or let me tell you how mathematicians use periodic functions. Periodic functions are just functions that are repeated. It means that if I have the function in x and I add to the x a value calling the period t, the function is going to work the same. So this is how we call a periodic function. If you're able to see that a function repeats itself many times using a period, so we can say that it's a periodic function. Now we're going to see the graphs. So to check the graphs, we're going to use a graph method, a graph program. And first, so we're going to explore the function sine of x. And this is how we can see the function sine of x. Okay. This is the function sine of x. And you can see here some characteristics that the function has. First, the function is periodic. Look at here, when we have 0, we can notice that the function is repeated when we get here. So the function repeats and repeats. Okay, this is the period of a sine of the function sine of x. So it's periodic. It repeats itself. It's the same here as the same here. Okay, this is the first part. The second part in the function sine of x is the domain. Look at that. The domain could be any value in the x-axis. It means that the domain refers to all real numbers. Even that is periodic, domain is in all the real numbers. And here the range refers to 1 and -1. So the function never is going to be greater than 1 or less than -1. It means that the range is between -1 and 1. This is the sine function. So the sine function is just a periodic function that takes the value between two numbers. Okay, obviously we can change the range as you want. For example, instead of sine, I'm going to write 3 or 2 times sine of x. And now the range is from -2 to 2. Okay? But look at that, the period has no changing. If I want to change the period, I need to change the argument because the period is related to the argument x. So I'm going to write 3x, 3 times x. Now you can see that the period has changed. Before, the period was here, now the period is here. 1, 2, 3. It means that now 3 sine functions are in the place in which it was just 1. Okay, let's go back to the original sine function. And this is how you can explore domain, range, and if a function is periodic using this. When we can use the sine function, when you have a problem in which the range, or when you have a graph in which the range is determined between two values, okay? Between two values, and you can have like a periodic function. Let's see, just to finish, the cosine function. And look at that the cosine function is actually the same. You can see it's the same. It has like the same form, but it starts in another place here. Okay, the cosine function. We can say that the cosine function is just the sine function with a shift phase. Okay? And this is how you can explore sine and cosine function, periodic functions, and how you can check the characteristics of functions using a graph. Thanks for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Goodbye.